Greetings. Welcome back to Brown Girl Blue. My name is Tabitha, and on this channel, I talk about my childhood memories of growing up as a Jehovah's Witness. Cleaning the house today, I was thinking about the time when my mom used to raise chickens, just because she liked to have a supply of fresh eggs. It was a lot cheaper when you have 6 kids. And sometimes we would go into the hen house and you would find broken shells in the hen's little nesting area. And because chicken had been laying and her chicks were ready, they had hatched. And it's always pretty cool to see how many chicks came out of their shells, and some took a little bit longer, and some unfortunately didn't make it because something happened in the whole development process where the chick died in the egg, or just didn't develop enough to be able to hatch. And when I think about that whole development process of how a baby chick, when it uses its beak to break that shell, and that shell does have a purpose. It's a purpose of protecting the life of the baby chick when it's in a vulnerable stage. And if that chick is not allowed to break that shell on its own, then this significantly impacts the chick's survival. You think about how beautifully that eggshell is designed to really work in alignment with the chick's ability to break away from its protective walls. It does it little by little until it's free to enter the world that's waiting for it. But looking at my own life, I was trying to think gosh, thinking about that chick because think about, what happens if that eggshell is too thick or too thin, or if something comes along that prevents the chick from doing what it was designed to do, or maybe that chick has a new idea introduced for it to wait for something or someone outside of itself to crack the eggshell for them. Worse yet, what if the special, they have this little thing called a pip. It's a little hard surface area, it's a hard little piece on their beak that's designed to help them break through that eggshell. What if something happens, that little hard pip, whether it falls off or it's removed or something happens to it, then that survival rate for that chick really plummets along with their purpose. These are just the laws of nature in order for living things to survive, or in order so they can live. Silly as it sounds, thinking about those chicks from my younger days, that we used to raise, really makes me just take a moment to evaluate my own life's purpose and my own development. So I'm a Gen Xer. I'm in my 50s now. And part of me acknowledges how my adult maturity differs from my peers in regards to things like relationship development, human connection, my self-perception, so my awareness of myself, my external awareness of looking at things outside of my existence, my thought organization, my executive function, how I go about and do my daily life task, and also how I manage my stress. My observations, I know, are not specific to my particular Jehovah's Witness childhood, and I know that many people from various religious and non-religious backgrounds have had similar experiences. So this by no means is uncommon. So I'm just speaking from my perspective. My perspective of being raised a child in this particular religious culture. So some of the things that I've definitely experienced in my young life, in my young adult life, and even now just to some regards, where I've doubted myself. I haven't always recognized my own values. A lot of times I feel out of place, like I'm walking out of step, or I'm kind of walking in this life out of time with everything else. And there are so many times where I actually envy the maturity level of my coworkers, and I feel like an imposter. Even though I have degrees, I've done a lot of work in my professional life, I've done, a lot of things that look really great on a resume, but still I always feel like I don't quite belong. Growing up as a Jehovah's Witness, the idea of choosing was really linear and singular, meaning that commands were given and they were followed if you wanted to live and not die by the very hand of God swiftly. Bible stories were weaponized, and God's love was taught as conditional upon my complete obedience. Even my natural adolescent feelings were squashed and labeled as sinful and bad. Whenever I had a streak of independence or want to do something on my own, which happens, that's part of human development. I was told that those thoughts were evil and that they should be dismissed. It was really drilled into me that all humans were naturally bad and full of sin, and that the daily battle was against these natural inclinations. It was constant and steady. The scriptures were twisted to elicit control of my body and my mind. This has been a long journey to my freedom from a really restrictive and high demand beginning. On the other side of that, the more and more years I was away from that environment, life has taught me many lessons that brought me both pain, but also joy in the knowing of it all. I learned to break that shell that was turned from protection into a prison. And even though I'm a late bloomer and I'm still learning, it's going to be probably a lifelong process. What I can take joy in is that I still arrived and I survived. And so can you. And so you shall. You just have to take one little pip at that shell, just like those chicks did from my days of, helping my mom with her chickens. You got to take one little pip at that shell every little day, little by little, and you will get free. Thank you for watching Brown Girl Blue. This is another unlocked childhood Jehovah's Witness memory. See you next time. Bye.